What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Instead of talking about Boruto or One Piece, I want to talk about the Avatar Last Airbender Netflix adaptation. Now, through all my life, I've been a big Avatar fan. So when I heard that this was getting announced, I was a little cautious and a little nervous about it. But overall, when you really look at the adaptation as a whole, it's actually pretty good. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Now, don't get me wrong, it has its glaring issues. Episode 3 might be one of the worst things I've ever watched, bro. But, like, the changes that they make are actually pretty good. In particular, like, what they do for Aang and for Zuko and their dynamic. Like, pretty much just the dynamic around them. That's pretty much what I'm going to be focusing in on here. So, how it starts, or when the changes for their dynamic really starts, is when we're on the ship and what after Zuko has captured Aang, and we see like we get the classic like Aang running through the ship trying to find his staff, but before he leaves, he finds a book, and he takes the book, and it's pretty much information on all the past avatars, and Aang uses that book throughout pretty much the whole show on how to like learn about the avatars and like really gain a sense as to what the avatar is and what it's about and how he can connect with his past lives. But the reason why that's so special is because that Zuko's book, we're already getting the inklings and the seeds planted on their student teacher dynamic, which I thought was really cool. And I wasn't expecting them to do that. Like, that was awesome. But what I think probably the best terms of like rearranging and changing things, and probably the best episode of the show is episode 6. Episode 6, bro, goes crazy. Like, they incorporated elements of the storm and pretty much like everything with the blue spirit into like one episode. But this was the best way they done it. Like, they had problems doing this early on in the season with like in particular episode 3, because that was terrible. It was like all the jet and like the stuff with the scientist guy or the engineer guy. That shit sucked. But when you look at like episode 6, we see like like it pretty much plays beat for beat like it does in the animated show a little bit. But when they first leave, we see, or when they first escape, and like instead of going right into Aang talking about like who's on and asking Zuko if they could be friends, we first see a completely new interaction of Aang talking about his past life, like with the monks, and like trying to connect with Zuko in like and just form a relation and form a connection with him, like before we even get to the Kuzan stuff. Like, we see him asking him like he's like complimenting him on his drawings and stuff, and asking if he uses like goat hair, and like we see at first Zuko, like before Zuko says anything, you see him start to like warm up to Aang a little bit, like, and then you see him answer goat hair, and you see them form that relationship a little bit. But then once Aang starts talking about the Fire Nation, that's when Zuko's years of abuse kicked back in, and he basically attacks Aang after that, and then Aang knocks him out. But what was really key here, before we get into him talking about Kuzan when Zuko wakes up, is he tells Zuko, as Zuko's knocked out, he pretty much just says, "I'm sorry. Like, I can just tell you've been through enough," and like, and then it goes into the Agni Kai to highlight Zuko's abuse even further. It was so good, man. Like, I know the Avatar last, like the live action adaptation has been getting some slander, but like, man, the changes that they made with Aang and Zuko should not be getting slander. Dallas Liu and Gordon are like two of the best actors on the show. Like, I loved what they did with it. But that's pretty much where I'm going to leave that. Let me guys know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think like Dallas's portrayal was good? I think Dallas might have had the best performance in the show. That might just be me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe.